How do you keep from over explaining to customers?
If their eyes start glassing up. I try to cater my message to each customer. There are some common themes. If I notice baby things around the house or infant things, I'm probably going to cater my message around the focus on your infant, their developing lungs, and how they are a little bit more vulnerable than we are as grown adults, or elderly, being compromised, or some kind of outlier like that. Otherwise, I think one of the ways that I just describe pollutant exposure to people is think of it like sun exposure. Some people will sunburn a lot faster than others. Some people won't sunburn at all. Some people can be in the sun a lot longer than others. Some people can't. But if you stay in the sun for too long, eventually you're going to get burned.
And it depends on the sun, right?
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, and but it's perfect for that metaphor. If I'm out in my backyard working with my shirt off in Chicago, I can be out there for an hour before I get burnt. I try that in Texas, and I'm going home in a body bag. I'm going to need some of that paint to keep my skin from falling.
Yeah. And that's what I would equate to being like the measured level of pollutant. Are we at a 10 micrograms a cubic meter? Or are we at 35? Are you at the equator or are you at Virginia?
Right.
And it's always great to just let that homeowner to think about it in terms of hours of exposure and levels of exposure. Engineers think of things like, how many hours are we talking about? And to let them decide.
The longer you're exposed to any pollutant,
right,
your body will become sensitized over time. You might not have the symptoms then and there, but if you're sleeping in your home for 8 hours a day and you're working in your home for 4 hours and you're out for the other 12, if you're lucky, 12 hours a day, 5 to 7 days a week is quite a lot of exposure to an increasing level of particulate or an increasing level of VOCs in a home that's not getting much ventilation. It is that simple. It's now the timelines are a little bit different. Like a sun will burn you a little bit faster than most people will get sensitized to an allergen, but we're spending a lot more time indoors than we're spending out in the sun. So we have to think about that in our planning. And we can't completely remove the sun from the equation, but we can put an awning out for a while. Eventually the sun will eat it up. And you will have some shade and your body can recover.
Right. That's good too, man. We're working out some sweet metaphors in this conversation so far. Because
I live in metaphors with my customers because it's a lot easier for them to understand.
But the other thing is that awning's only good if you use the awning, because you can't, just because you have one doesn't mean that it's going to protect you from the sun. You gotta unroll it.
So to tie back to your original question, how do I not over explain things? To the extent that I can, I will reference like a YouTube video about particulate matter in infants. And there's a very good one that I go to for that. And I just say it's much easier to visualize this than it is to comprehend the words coming out of my mouth. But small particles that goes through the deep part of the lungs can get in your blood and cause bigger issues down the line.